Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final word. Everton 3, Burnley 1. I suppose it was as tough as we thought it was going to be, Baz.
Yeah, it was very tough. Different style of play, wasn't it? That you're up against most weeks. Two big centre forwards, physical, direct football. But ultimately won a test that we passed. Yeah,
I mean, we spoke about obviously the starting 11. We got it right. I mean, don't really need to give ourselves a big pat on the back. It was quite obvious that, well, we thought it'd be quite obvious that that he would go with that. Do you think maybe in the last couple of weeks, I'm not saying it was an experiment, but obviously we go back to the Merseyside derby and obviously Pennington was in there, Calvert-Lewin was in there. Do you think after maybe the derby he's maybe reassessed the team and thought, I've got enough youth in there with Davies in there, obviously in first choice. Holgate, obviously not first choice, but obviously first choice at the moment at right back, and probably thought, I've got, that's enough for now.
I mean,
the only real question mark is Calvert-Lewin, isn't it? Was playing instead of Morales.
Playing instead of Morales. You don't know whether that was attitude in training.
Or just a baby. Just a baby, really.
The baby,
I mean, let's be honest.
He might have been a bit off the pace a little bit in training, tired with, and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, unless Morales has just had a cob on after the derby and trained even better, and he thought, I'll give him a go. He tried to get Calvert-Lewin in on many occasions, hasn't he, to see, see what he's got. And I feel a little bit sorry for Calvert-Lewin, because I think he looks like a good player, but I think he's more of a down the middle type of centre. He's a centre forward, isn't he? That's what he plays. When he played in the 23s, I mean, you were at Goodison last week for the 23 game, he was up front. He's not up and down the left hand side, is he? So I think we've said it before with Morales, when he's on it, and he's an important player for us. I've been critical of him at times this season because he hasn't been on it, and when he's not on it, he's a waste of a player almost. But Morales has been brilliant lately and fully deserved his game. In terms of Pennington in at the back, I don't know why he chose to use that experiment at Anfield with him in there. It didn't kind of make much sense, but Ashley Williams coming back in was obviously the right thing to do.
Really, yeah. As you mentioned, unusual. Well, I mean, not strange from Burnley, but they went with two strikers up front. They obviously went with Volks, who's a big lad. He's a big unit. They left Gray out, which surprised me because I thought they would have tested Williams and Jagielka and tried to get behind them, because even though we're not blessed with a lot of pace, we still try and play high up the pitch, which nearly caught us out when Volks went through. I mean, it's just lucky that he's built for comfort and not for speed. But I just thought he would have gone with Gray and tried to push us, but they went with two big lads up front, pressed us high, pressed Snyderland, and sort of tried to stop us playing more than anything else.
Yeah, it knocked us out of our stride, didn't it? I think the thing is, if they'd have gone with Gray, it would have been much of what we used to, a nippy centre forward. And I think it might have meant more of a midfield battle, because they'd have had to try and play. They wouldn't have been able to play the kind of balls they played. I think it was clever by Dice, to be fair, because he's looked at it and thought, these are really strong at home. Very, very strong in midfield, which we are. Mr. Midfield. Kind of what we should do at we should have done maybe at Tottenham. When we didn't have everyone available, or we wanted to mix it up. Go there and if you feel as though a team's really strong in one area, try and take that area out the game. Good coaches do it, and Dice has done it. He's looked at it and gone, if we get it down and go, like for like with these, they'll kill us. So let's miss the midfield out. Let's go more direct. And it caused us a lot of problems, particularly in the first half. It caused us problems.
Well, I mean, it really unsettled, didn't it? I mean, the first part of the game, to be fair, they got the ball down in midfield quite a lot and tried to put. But they did. What I mean is they got it up there fast.
They got more joy from a direct ball, though, didn't they? Yeah. And they picked the second ball up.
But they really unsettled us, and they were playing a high line, and you could see everyone pushing, and people like Barton were using all their experience to buy free kicks, and they unsettled us. I think what was good was that when they did get set pieces, we dealt with them quite comfortably, which is something we've got really good at. Obviously, they had the one with Keane at the back post, which was a brilliant clearance from Ross Barkley.
Yeah.
But I think we dealt with that, and I don't know whether that, because I think there's this idea that you can come to Goodison and you can, you know, West Brom tried it, we played Palace away, they tried it, and almost like we'll unsettle these with our set pieces, but really we've got really good at defending set pieces, and they didn't cause us too many problems apart from that one in the first half, and I don't know whether that disheartened them a little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, they had a couple of great chances. Vokes, obviously, he got through, and there's one where he got pushed wide, there's one where he forced Robles to make a good save, or a decent enough save, so they had their chances, and we just looked a little bit like, as you said, we couldn't really get it down. Sneijden couldn't really get an influence on the game. We couldn't hold the ball up at all, which was a big problem. I mean, it's, you know, but as I say, I thought first half they played really well and just got under our skin a little bit and stopped us from playing more than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget, we had Tom Heaton's had to make 3 or 4 really good saves in the first half as well to keep them in the game. Joel has as well, to be fair, they had chances as well, not saying that. But we didn't, there was no flow. They done a really good job on us because we have been very, very good at home. And in the first half, they did knock us out of our stride because they changed the way they played. It was a without being disrespectful, it was like 80s football almost, wasn't it? 2 big physical units up front, and like you say, it's good tactics. I wouldn't want to watch my team play like that every week, but in certain games, I've got no problem with teams coming to Goodison. What they done brilliantly, and he's drilled them brilliantly, Dice, is that they just made sure they had that 2 banks of 4 at all times. When they committed and they lost the ball, they were quickly back, and the 2 lines were there. And I'm being critical of anyone, I'm being critical of Everton, because we were too slow in that final day. We find this with teams like Sunderland, West Brom.
Held us up.
Just come down and just stop us playing, like just get everyone behind the ball, and we slow down. When we're quick and we're sharp, we open teams up. I mean, Heaton's, we had the chance from Rom early on.
Yeah, which could have been, if we put that in,
he should have done better.
Yeah, I think he should have.
But the keeper makes a good save. We had Garner forced a good save from Heaton. Holgate forced a really good one. Then the free kick by Morales, I don't know where you were. We thought it was in. Because Tom Heaton just went.
We were all buzzing off you, but then we watched the replay and we were like, oh, actually, yeah, from that angle, you looked like
unbelievable, mate.
Yeah, it looked like from that angle. But I think there was a little change, wasn't he? Because I think there was a little tactical change. He started pushing Baines further forward on the left, and he essentially said to Morales, go play central and get amongst them and start holding the ball up. Morales he's actually quite good at getting the ball and keeping it and
buys your time, doesn't he?
And getting other players involved. Whereas you don't see that from Rom. He doesn't keep hold of it as well. And obviously
he looked up it again Saturday, the first half. It's not, I don't want to say disinterested, because I don't believe it's that, but just like off the pace a bit, and you're going, is he up for it? But like second half.
But that, and again, obviously the reason's quite obvious. Second half. But I thought that little change it got Baines further. Baines started playing like the old Baines. He had a you know, they didn't necessarily have anyone out there that were going to stop him. He started to get more joy, as I said, and we just, without making more chances as such, we just started to eat up more territory. And I think eating up more territory just pushed them a little bit further back, allowed Sneijden to get a little bit more on the ball, Tom Davies to just get into little pockets. And the other thing we did was, we didn't panic. There was no sense of panic because they'd had a couple of chances. No, there wasn't a sense of like, we have to force this, which in the past has created problems. I mean, because you know, you look at the Jagielka back pass, for instance, and you think for that couple of minutes, Jags looked ruffled. It was like a second mistake in a minute, and he looked ruffled. But instead of anyone just panicking, because I think the other thing they were doing as well, I don't know if you noticed this, but we had a goal kick, and the centre halves were very central, which allowed their players to come on them, and Sneijden just said to both of them, go wide, go on the edge, almost like a 3, and Sneijden dropped in that gap, and what it did was it dragged the midfielder and it left space behind them, where if we wanted to go long, we had someone in space to pick it up. But I think can't remember, but Sneijden might have actually just took it and got on with it. And it was just clever little things like that maybe last season or the season before wouldn't have been there, because you wouldn't have trusted Barry to drop. I mean, how many times did we see Barry get taking the ball off him a couple of years ago, especially in Martinez's second year, with people pushing high on him? And I just thought little clever things like that just showed me that how we've moved on, how we can adapt in games. I think that's really important. Whereas last season, and even earlier this season, it took till half time for the manager to sit them down. Where I felt like in this, we were adapting during the game. We didn't mean we created more chances. It just meant that we got into the game, which allowed us later on to get more chances.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you look at we still had, I mean, the stat count at the end, we had 29 attempts at goal, which is a lot in a Premier League, to be fair, isn't it? I know we only had, I think it was 7 on target, but that's a lot of you know, a lot of chances created. But I think you're right, the changes are there. The last year, for whatever reason, that unsettledness from the crowd and everything would start creeping in after about 20-25 minutes. On Saturday, I was a little bit frustrated in the first half just because we were so slow. I was, you know, and we were doing the same thing for the first half an hour. It was just like, it's not working. Try something else. Go and have a shot, someone. Stop passing it sideways. But then, I think the last 15 minutes of the first half, like you said, players, just a couple of little subtle changes. Started getting people closer with Rom. Holgate bombed on a little bit as well. A little bit like Gareth Barry used to do in Martinez's first season. We drop in and the others would push up. And just little subtleness around the pitch. They started retreating and getting further and further back. And we just, even though we hadn't played well, and they were probably, you could argue they were a better side in the first half, you know, you knew that I knew that something was coming.
I think the most important thing was as well is that I think a nice little thing they did earlier on was it Barnes playing up front with folks. What Barnes did, very very intelligent from the lad, actually looks a good little player, was he was playing up front, but he was dropping off, and he made Jagielka follow him. And they actually did it in the second half for the penalty. If you watch it again, he dropped off and he made Jagielka follow him into the gap. Not wanting it at all, just because it was like a 2-on-2 situation, and I thought he did that quite well early. But I think as we started getting more control of the ball, Barnes then had to start dropping into midfield all the time, and it isolated folks who, as we've seen, not the most mobile of footballers in the world, and just little, and as I say, just little subtle changes on the pitch. And as the game went on, with our home record with their away record, and them not really creating chances unless we made mistakes, and as I say, because they weren't really getting any joy out of the set pieces, you just, as you say, you felt like the change was coming, and or something was coming. And even though, as I say, even though we didn't play brilliantly that first half, you just felt like, come the second half, kicking into the Gladys Street, they would retreat and retreat. And I mean, luckily enough, I mean, I suppose what was good, it was good and bad. Clattenburg, in Clattenburg's own way, had made a few sort of rods for his own back. He'd let a couple of things go, and then he booked Guy, and he said it was for a couple of fouls. It wasn't even a foul, I don't even think. He got suckered in a couple of times for cheap fat, which were never fouls. But Guy got booked. Now, I don't know whether that was the thing that at half time, Koeman just said, right, you're on a booking, I'm looking to make a change. We don't need you in there, so let's take it off. Something that we didn't see last season, and we used to shout for it all the time. Why do you need an extra centre midfield, holding midfielder on?
He said it in his interview, didn't he? He said they asked him about the change, and he said we didn't need to hold midfield players at home against.
But what's great is look how much trust that shows he has in Tom Davies and Ross Barkley.
Said it the other week though about Tom Davies. This kid, as good as he is, and people don't always see what he does. He's so intelligent. As he's 8, I can't believe the kid's so young because he's such an intelligent player. But the trust that he's finishing games before senior pros and things like that just shows you how much faith he's got in him. But it was really good management, because you're looking and going, seeing Valencia warming up straight away before anyone was out.
Yeah, like, he was warming up after 20 minutes.
20 minutes, so it's like, he's coming on, there's no question about it. Then he disappeared, didn't he? Like, he's definitely coming on. And then you're going, will it be for Ross? Because I thought Ross had done all right in the first half. I'm thinking, oh, maybe it's Tom Davies who's going off. You know, and it's Garner, and you go, yeah, and it's sensible. Anyway, we got to half time.
Come out second half.
The change was good,
change was really positive. We both like Valencia, don't we? No, we do, don't we? Both,
I do like.
We both like Valencia. We like what he offers when he comes off the bench.
Right? Yes or no? Would you buy him?
No.
It's mad, isn't it?
It's
mad. I'm the same, but
I'd have him alone.
I'll look at him and go, you know what? He's been really good.
But you do need. I said this on my instant reaction. Every team needs one of them. I just think we need a better version of it. But
he seems to. He hasn't moaned at all, has he? Hasn't played much. He's got it. He works hard. He runs.
Every team needs a player who's willing to sit on the bench and come on and affect things.
Yeah.
When he starts, see, this is the thing. When a player starts a game, you change your tactics straight away, and you say that's what we want to do. And I don't think he's got enough in his locker to get through games, but he's good when he comes on and the opposition are tiring,
and yet he was the catalyst when we beat Arsenal.
No,
we had nothing like. He started the game that night, and we hadn't had anything like that.
Yeah.
And Rom immediately grows 10 foot when he's got someone.
I think what Koeman almost does is it's funny because Martinez, and not slanging off Martinez, but we all know that you could be having. I mean, look at Delafeu was in great form. Disappeared, literally disappeared and didn't come back. But with Koeman, I think sometimes it might. I don't know whether it's mind games, but Valencia hasn't hardly got on in the last few games, and it's almost like he's diluting his effect by saying, right, there's going to be certain games where we're not going to bring you on, and we're going to almost make the opposition forget you exist, and then bang, brings him on in a game where you need a goal, and suddenly the opposition are like, forgot about him. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like that could be completely nonsense. But you look at something. You look at like Old Trafford, where he should have really come on, and you're thinking that.
Why has he put Calvert-Lewin on?
Or even in the last game, you're thinking, you know, there's.
But then he put Valencia on at Anfield, didn't he? And he made him know.
It's weird.
It is. He just
does it when he feels like he needs to do it. But he came on suddenly. We're higher up the pitch. We've got another player. I like the fact that he likes to pull out a little bit wide as well, and he just started occupying their two centre backs. Who, I mean, we'll talk about more later. But I thought they done all right. Keane and me as a pair done very, very well, and he just started to drag them around. And really wasn't even the defence as such. He just started to drag their team around a little bit, and Rom, a little bit more spark out of Rom.
He had someone to look out for then as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was playing left back for them, or left wing back. It looked like all of a sudden he had someone occupying, because Ross was coming in field. He had someone occupying him all of a sudden, and it was like, who's this, in that pocket. And the intent was there from the first whistle in the second half, that you could just tell that he'd had a little bit of a go at them at half time, in a way that, I'm not going to hark back to our Kendall, but that you knew under Kendall you'd go in and when you were confident in that Everton side and they haven't performed, you'd go be a big reaction in the second half. And to be fair, David Moyes a lot of times got a reaction at half time. You'd see us come out and we'd go bang and be on it. The last fella not so much. It just was more of the same, whereas with Koeman you do know that there's going to be a reaction coming, and they did. We were straight on it, and within a couple of minutes we get a corner and we get ahead,
I mean, it was his work initially, and then Rom, and then Holgate gets the corner, and again, good delivery by Morales, who's just got a nice little way of playing it, sort of just in front of the penalty area.
Good little Williams again, was it?
Little flick by Williams, and again, this one was a bit baffling to me because the first header clearly went in,
miles over the line,
and I thought goal line technology was instantaneous.
Well, it's within a second, yeah. So I don't know why it carried on. Because he scrambled it back, didn't he?
He got it back. Then Jags put it in for the second one, and then you seen Clattenburg go whistle bang. But it was like, well, hang on, how did it take you that long?
Yeah.
It might have just been one of those things, and I'm overthinking it. But weird one, that.
No, because he saved it, come out, and Jags reacted brilliantly and put it back in, didn't he? And you're like, we have 2 goals there. Even on Match of the Day, I felt the commentator said it went in twice. Quite clearly, it went in twice. It wasn't even close. So it was a bit of it.
Jagielka cartwheels.
Yeah.
where did that come from, and why is he doing it at his age?
Just excited, isn't he? Had he gone 18 months before his goal against Manchester United or whatever it was? He got 3 in 3 games. He got more than Diego Costa this year, apparently, in 2017.
More in April than Messi.
There you go. I mean, wouldn't you be cartwheeling if you got more than Messi in it?
But it's, I mean, again, it's a total shift, isn't it? From not even training to.
I mean, you know what? I listened to Koeman on the radio coming home on Saturday and it did just bring me back to our conversations, and I remember that, and we will have discussed it in quite at length many times. But I remember that seeing the conversation with Martinez not long after he took over us, and we started all right, and it was Jeff. I think it was Jeff Shreve doing it, and he talked about set pieces and just said it's parasite football, and there's no point in practicing them because you might get 2 or 3 in a game. What's the point? It's a couple of and to Koeman at the weekend, the total opposite was like, yeah, we work hard on set pieces all week. We do it. The lads stay behind, and we're getting hardy. And you're like, of course, because that was the breakthrough. You know, we pass it, end up with nothing. Get a corner, cross country, bang, goal. And you win matches.
And like we said last week, it's not lucky. They've scored the same goal 3 times.
3 games out of 4. Well,
corner,
hang on.
4 out of 4. 4 out of the last 4 games we've scored from the same corner.
Yeah.
Comes in, little flick. Other centre back reacts at the far post, and it's gone in 4 times. We've scored 4. You know,
we nearly got 2 in the last game. Jag scores from a straight cross, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Just that we missed the flick on at the near post and he heads it in. Rom scores profits last week from the flick on at the near post. Liverpool, Manchester United, Saturday. So it just taking the 4 games. Yeah. You just look and go, it's basic.
5 goals in 4 games.
Why wouldn't you add that to everything else that you do well? It's just basic, isn't it?
I think what his idea was, or I think the long version.
Barcelona.
The long version of what he was saying is, what is the point of? I mean, it's a pure numbers game.
Yeah.
What is the point of practicing for X amount when you could be practicing other things that get you goals? When the percentage of actually scoring from set pieces is like, what was it? It was like 7% or something.
Yeah, but
we scored 5 goals in 4 games. In only 1 game we've lost, and there's the point.
You had 7 out of 9 in the other 3.
Yeah, there's your point. And
but he's also the same fella that said he'd rather play well and lose. Points don't matter, performances do. So yeah. Anyway, back to the positive stuff. No, but it does show you that if you're doing everything else right, this is a key element to a game as well, isn't it? Whereas you know, if it is tight, set piece can turn it for you, and that's what it did, and the set piece turned it back for them. But you know,
yeah, I mean, we've gone 1-0 up, and we've done that thing again, haven't we? Where I mean, I did think, I mean, the game was a little bit more sort of topsy turvy without having Garner on the pitch. There was a little bit more space, but that's for us to control that space, because obviously. And their goal, again, like I said earlier, if you watch it again, Jags is really badly out of position. He's done really well for the score, but he gets pulled out, and that leaves that space for. I mean, the lad, he shouldn't be allowed to run with the ball.
To be honest, mate, Sneijderlin's fully at fault. Koeman called him out on it.
No, what I want to say, that's what I'm saying. He's allowed to run.
Keane runs past. Where was our centre forward? Because
but it's a collection of errors.
But that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't call Rom out or Valencia, whoever it should have been. I wouldn't call Sneijderlin out. I wouldn't call Jags out. Yeah. I will call the keeper out. Okay. The other 3, but it was a collection.
Jags runs into. See, this is again. It's one of those things where, but it's. And we'll talk about Jags in a minute, but it's one of those things where you're thinking, you've just scored, right? Keep it tight for 5 minutes. A man of your, should you be really chasing people around the pitch, or should you just keep a bank of 4 and just say, come at us? Because he doesn't run out to the lad who's got the ball either. He runs out, I think, to Barnes, and he leaves this big space, and that Vokes just walks into it. But
he's following his man, isn't he?
I know, but that's what I'm saying. For that time, should you just be like, right, I'll pass him on.
But if he turns and pops it, then people are like, why didn't he go on? I know what you're saying. There was a blooming big chasm in the middle of our defence that shouldn't have been there.
And in our midfield.
You know,
but he gets in the box. And honestly, the millisecond, right, that I see Joel get a sniff of this,
know what was happening.
I knew what was going to happen. And I'm sure everyone else in the ground knew what was going to happen. But the moment you see him go, I'm going to chase him like he's a dog. Like I'm my dog and he's got my ball. And he chases after them and you're thinking, no, don't do it, lad. Don't be stupid. But he's left himself almost nowhere to go, because if the kid literally gets to the edge of the box and thinks, I'm going to turn here, he only has to throw a ball in the box, and Joel wouldn't know what was in there because he got it back to goal. But it's an open goal, obviously.
Could he not have just stood up then?
But that's what I'm saying. So, but I think that's why he throws the tackle in, because it's almost like, I've left myself nowhere to go here. So the first thing is,
I think okay, yeah, go on.
But and then the other thing I'm thinking is, but he probably thinks if he doesn't follow him out, all the lad needs to do is turn round and he's got a free shot. But it's idiotic. It's just so idiotic.
If you watch it though, and I know you make a decision, obviously when you're playing the game you make a split second decision, but if you actually watch the way the ball's going and where it's Barnes, isn't it? Or is it Vokes?
Barnes or Vokes?
Vokes it was, sorry. It's Vokes. If you actually watch the way the ball's going, where he's going, he's got time to put the brakes on Joel and just backpedal, because there's enough bodies in our box to go to his line. If he wants to run out and commit to him, then he runs out and he stands up with him and tries to get a block on it. You don't run out and make it that.
You don't slide tackle.
There's no reason. You're in the penalty area. Yeah. There's literally no and you see, this is the problem I've got with Joel. His handling, excellent at the weekend. He was up. There was just one punch that he didn't get right. But listen, I've seen really good goalies over the weekend, even making errors, you know. And so it makes you go, okay, any keeper can do it. Of course they can. But that key moment, that decision making in these key moments, Merseyside derby, why press triangle and run out as if you don't know where you are? I'll never know for that. He ran after Mane's shot, the first one. He ran after it, which I thought was odd. Just dive, even if it goes past you. At least look. Coutinho's he didn't even bother to dive for. Just dive anyway, make it look like you're trying. The third goal at Anfield was horrendous. Really bad goalkeeping. Leicester last week, I've seen the goal so many times. Slimani's goal. Just legs like a plumber. He should be in a brothel.
I don't quite agree in that one.
Well, that's fair enough, but it was just, to me, it was bad goalkeeping. The top goalie, he's come out against Arnautovic at Stoke 3 times and in the same position and spread himself brilliantly, but he wasn't like a slag. The free kick, I don't blame him, but this one, 100%, no reason for it.
There's not.
And if we're gonna go up to the next level,
we're gonna need a next level goalie.
Is he good enough to? He's not a bad goal. He's a good goalie. But I'm now looking and thinking, I think we need to level up. I think we might need the next one.
We might. I think we've said ourselves that,
or another really good one to go along.
Yeah, that's. Listen, if we were to go out and buy a top class keeper, Joel would obviously have to reassess his position at the club. But I think you'd have to reassess it in the knowledge that on a couple of... see, this is what happened with Stekelenburg, wasn't it? Stekelenburg was sound, solid, put out some great games, and then little things just started creeping into his game, where he'd make an odd mistake, and then an odd mistake became a mistake in every game, and then a mistake in every game was a goal for 3 or 4 games in a row. And that's where you were like... And I'm not saying... Again, it's with Joel, you're like... In the last few weeks, he's made a few errors, and you're thinking, can you allow that? Can you allow that in a short space of time to have games dictated by your keeper making mistakes? And you're right, you do see keepers all over the Premier League make mistakes, but they are playing for the Watfords and the, you know, and
well, I like Fraser Forster, really like him, and he would have been if you'd have given me a pick in the summer, he would have been the keeper I'd have got, and yet. He throws Vincent Kompany's header straight in. It's right at him without any power, and you go, and then it's where, you know, so they're gonna make.
It's weird, isn't it? Because I suppose it's the same with Joe Hart's been.
Oh my God, have you seen
I have seen.
The montage of the goals.
He's been abysmal this season. Now I don't know whether that's for whatever reason. Last season he started to. The mistake started where you were like
Human ducked out.
The odd one you go, and then he started, and obviously we've seen him in the Euros. His replacement, who's supposed to be the goalie of goalies, hasn't made a save since December. Can you believe that? He has not made us. I don't know. I don't know if he made any on Saturday, but he has not made a save. Had not made a save apparently since December. Right. So it does happen. And then Mignolet's in the worst of the worst. And the next minute he's saving everything in sight. Yeah. You know, it happens in football. It does happen. It's just that you need a goalie. That's the ones at the top: Courtois, Lloris, De Gea. Tell me the last time Courtois made a mistake against City, didn't he, when he bagged? But tell me how many, the only mistake Courtois made lately is playing basketball. The idiot. Getting injured playing basketball.
I think if you had...
Would you have Tom Eaton, by the way?
You know what? I would. And I'd have bought him 2 years ago when they got relegated for £2 million when we could have got him. He's made 129 or something like that. He's made more saves than any other keeper. Probably because he has to do a lot more. But I thought on Saturday he was brilliant. Again, made some really good saves.
But I think that's
then he's left 3 goals in.
But I think that's quite interesting because he's made 129 saves, and it's easy to say because he has to. But the second one is Pickford, right? And you think about how bad where Sunderland are, where Heaton's made. So Heaton's actually made the kind of saves that have actually, by the looks of, won points.
He won them a point at Old Trafford.
Where Pickford is making saves that are just saves, where they're still getting beat. But Heaton's actually making saves. And for me, that makes him...
Heaton 31 though?
He is 31. But, okay, well, alright.
He's a good, don't get me wrong.
No, I'm
really good.
I mean, if you could have Heaton or Pickford, which one would you have?
I'd go Pickford.
Well, I would,
and
because...
I'll tell you, just because of potential.
Did you get 15 years out of him? Basically.
Potential, isn't it? I think Heaton...
And still on value.
Had it gone, like I said, 2 years ago, then they came down to Goodison, we beat them, I think we beat them 1-0, I think Morales scored, we beat them 1-0 last time in the Premier League. He was brilliant that day, saved the penalty from Ross, he was brilliant, and I thought that day, we should buy him, because we need it, because Howard was obviously was on his way out, wasn't he, sliding quickly.
Yes, Tim Howard.
What
Tim
about you,
Tim Howard? Boy. You keep that away from people's mothers.
Yeah, you leave people's mothers alone.
Imagine if he'd reacted to that every time the Galaxies had a goal.
Grafton's not still open to him. So I don't know. I think, I don't know, he's a really good goalie. And I think...
Isn't it weird how the game's moved on? Because if you'd said a couple of years, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, about signing a 31-year-old goalkeeper, oh, his best years are ahead of him.
Yeah,
but now we're all like, 31, that looks a bit off. 31.
He could still have... Listen, the second best goalie who's played for us, and in all the times I've watched Everton for a number of years now, was come here when he was allegedly finished, which was Nigel Martyn.
Well, I've just put Tom Heaton in my Premier League Team of the Year. So, because I honestly feel like the top goalies, I don't think any of them have done anything this season to sort of go, oh, he's won them this or he's won them that. But I think Tom Heaton has really contributed to keeping Burnley, not keeping them in the Premier League, but getting them mid-table in the Premier League. I think he's really contributed, and I think he's a leader. And if they went for him, I'd have no problem with that.
No, don't get me wrong. He wouldn't be one where I'd go, oh, why are we getting him? Do you know what I mean? I think people talk about Begovic, who's a keeper, but you look at him.
But I wouldn't, because he's not a first choice goalkeeper at the club he plays for. Whereas Heaton,
yeah, but to be fair, he's up against Courtois.
No, but that
if Begovic played for Burnley, would he be in the team? Of course he would.
Well, right, hang on. Well, two things here, right? Number one, you're not playing, and I think that brings in a rustiness, right? And the other thing is, what does that say about his ambition? Because that's another thing I always look at when you're buying a player, is is that player happy to sit on the bench? Now I know it's a different situation when you are a first choice or second choice goalkeeper and all the rest of it, but he left Stoke to sit on Chelsea's bench, and that to me.
But would he not say that he went there thinking he could get in?
you'd have to ask them in that.
Because Cech was their keeper, wasn't he? No, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, would he not say, well, I'm going to Cech?
Didn't he know when he signed for them, though, that they had Courtois and Atletico and Cech?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
And a lot of teams wanted him in the summer, and he didn't really want to budge, because Conte wanted to bring in his own man, didn't he, to be second choice? You know, his little lieutenant. That's the difference. Whereas Heaton, for me, Heaton, the fact that I think people wanted him, but he said, no, I'm going to stay at Burnley. So that I like that.
I think he's a good goalie. Listen, I think, like you said before, if it come out that we were getting him, I wouldn't be up in arms over it. I think, yeah, good, solid. I think he's a good, solid goalkeeper. I think he looks quite dependable, and he's made some brilliant saves. And the other thing you look at is they've not had a pace in this season. That's all.
No.
At all.
You can see that from I mean, right, let's just move on with the game. I mean, he puts the penalty away. We reacted quite well to it. I mean, it's sort of
5 minutes after it was rocky for 5 minutes. Yeah. Brady put that ball into the back post, and you're just thinking, oh my God, if someone gets on the end of that, it's 2-1. But then I thought we did, because I thought we just didn't panic. I thought we just went, like, okay. Yeah. And the crowd, you know.
But it almost felt like it was going to be one of those days, especially with Morales.
It did feel a little bit like one of them days, didn't it?
Morales, I mean, the first one,
the
scuffs it. And then
I thought, you see that one, I thought Heaton blocked. I thought Heaton saved it twice.
I don't know whether he was shooting or passing to Lukaku, but I thought it was a silly whatever. And then the second one, he hits the post, and he just hits the post. But then we worked it, and you know, the move for the...
He'd already should have scored the one when Barkley pulled it off the sky and slid him in. Yeah. And he just did, like, a baby shot. A Leon Osman shot, like that.
But then, you know, the goal comes from persistence. Again, Morales keeping the ball in. And Ross, who, I mean, obviously he's had a mixed week, hasn't he? I mean, he's had a mixed week. He's obviously things have happened, things have been said, but ultimately he's changed the course of the media in the city of Liverpool. Some fella has to get a dodgy stream now to write his match reports. Let's just say that. But what I liked about the goal was, which he'd been guilty of in bits of this game. I thought he played well, but at times he was doing the old thing of holding on to it. But I love the fact that, something we mentioned last week about getting the shot off, he gets into the box, and once he got into the box, he hits it with the other foot. And yes, it takes a couple of deflections. Do I think he should have the goal taken off him? No.
And the header got given one.
Yeah. And it's hit the corner, gone in, and hit the post and gone in, and he's got his rewards for trying to burst into the box and trying to affect it and trying to do something else. And his celebration was fantastic, going into the glass seat, you know, giving it the badge. That was fantastic. I really enjoyed it.
Outstanding, and all the retweets on the Twitter feed enjoyed it as well. No, it was brilliant, and it had to be Ross, didn't it? He was always going to be pivotal on Saturday. And what I really liked about his performance was he's had a bit of a kicking, physically and metaphorically, this week, in terms of, you know, different things, and all the eyes were on him. All the eyes were on him, and I thought he handled it absolutely brilliantly. He just got on with it. No stupid laughing tackles, none of the, you know, too much energy. Sometimes he holds on to it too long, mate, because nobody moves. That's why he holds on to it, because there's no movement. If you watch him, when Valencia comes on, there's movement. He releases the ball earlier. That's it. There is a criticism there that he needs to quicken stuff up, but half the time it's because there isn't any movement, and he's looking for the pass, and people are just stood like, give me it. Well, yeah, you've got 2 men on you, so I give it to you, but you're going to just pop it back to me. So there is that element, but I thought, you know, we don't think he cleared that one off the line. Cleared one off the line late on. He was absolutely.
I mean, it's all round game.
He was all round. He was man at the finish.
The amount of times he's been clearing it from corners. Yeah. Oh. You know, being the first man getting in there and using all his strength and his height. You know, but he should be given the goal. I'm not asked. Yeah. Oh no, what? Right, goal. Forget about anything else. Right. I know why the dubious. It's for betting sites, for gambling. He wouldn't
just had the goal.
He would have just been given the goal, but because of betting sites and all the rest of it, and fantasy football points and all that, Everton should just say, and I think they might have done this before actually, Everton should just turn around and go, we're crediting it to Ross.
It's Ross Barkley's
We're
goal.
crediting it to Ross. That's what Everton should do.
And the Herrera has been given his throw.
But he should, though. Everton should just turn around and go, no, it's Ross's goal as far as we're concerned. Anyway, I mean, that gets us back in the lead, and really from that point you didn't really feel like this was anything was going to happen. And obviously the third goal capped it off, and it was a lovely goal because, as you mentioned, one to the second half being quite quiet, but the way he got up against Keane and just span him, and then just in a blink of an eye the ball was in the back of the net, and it was I suppose it was everything Roma's good at, and for his agitators to turn around and go, why doesn't he do that all the time, or but it was a great goal and just capped it off.
Brilliant. He did that. He had the chance early on, didn't he? And then I think that was the next shot that he'd had a couple of them when it looks like he's unbeaten, and one got blocked, I think. But it was a brilliant goal. Just let Keane get touch sight to him and spun him, and once he was away from him, what I liked about the goal was he didn't give Heaton a chance to set himself. He got out of his feet and it was past him before, and it was like, I wasn't even ready, almost, you know what I mean? It's in the net, and that, I think he could do that more, Ron. I think he could do that, get it out of his feet quickly, and don't let the keepers get set, and then he'd probably score 40 instead of 25 or 24, whatever he's got. But it was a brilliant goal, and it was an example of A, how important he is to us, because he gets you those goals, and B, what his qualities are. For his other stuff that he doesn't do great, he does that stuff brilliantly, doesn't he? And that was it. It was a really good goal, and it was the icing on the cake. And I know we needed Ross to head one off the line, but other than that, it was
fair play to Burnley. They kept going. They kept going. They changed it. They brought Gray on just to make it a little bit different, and they kept going. And if that one had gone in, who knows? Maybe they would have. They would have had
Valencia would have shot in the last seconds. Maybe they made it 4-1 instead of trying to give it.
No, but it was. Again, in the end, it seemed comfortable, but it was a tough game, but that's good. It's good that it was a tough game, and there was different kinds of things happening in the game, and different.
It's a different challenge.
Yeah,
exactly. You've got to overcome. It's all about testing the team. Can they do it against this side? Can they do it against these? And what happens when you come up against big? I mean, there was a stat on. I've got it somewhere. The home record from last season to this season. It's just unbelievable. It was 6 home wins last year. It's 12 this year. Goals scored. Points from losing points from and it's just far away. It's unbelievable, and that's what he's done. The next step for him is bringing some of that into our away form. And
the away form is that's what we need to start kicking up. But so obviously a good 3 points. And before we go, obviously the Hillsborough stuff was really fantastic.
Burnley played their
and
part.
it was really nice, really well observed, and obviously brilliant from the club as well, with the statement they put out in the morning. And so it was a all round, good day. Good day. So so
won on my birthday.
Oh, Baz's birthday.
I think the last time he won was when McPartland scored that goal of the season against Charlton. And then it was the last time he won on my birthday. We've lost to Liverpool and everything on my birthday.
What a goal that
lost at Wembley.
They just scored as well, hadn't they? So the crowd was all like,
93rd minute, and he's pulling it out the sky and volleying it.
Lovely.
Beautiful.
What a goal. There you have it. Let us know in the comments your thoughts. Certainly on Keane, on the Ross Barkley situation. And anything in general, just anything in general you want to talk about, let us know. Thanks for watching Toffee TV. We'll see you later.